Oh, hi, audience. What's up? It's Greg Sestero here to introduce you to the True Blue RiffCast, where they talk about amazing movies, bad movies, and everything in between. So you're listening to the True Blue RiffCast. Enjoy it.
Thanks, Greg. This is the True Blue RiffCast, the number one RiffTrax podcast in the world. I am Jeremy, and I am joined, as always, by...
Hi, I'm Dave. I'm coming to you live. It's such a lovely day here in China. I just wanted to get that out of the way because I'm coming to you from China because I usually am just hanging out in the cornfields in Utah, which is where I usually am. But today I'm in China. Why? You don't need to know. It's never explained anyway. I'm getting ahead of myself.
Well, today we do have a very special guest with us. He is, in his own words, a RiffTrax contributor and novelist person, I guess. It's Jason Miller.
Fellas, everybody, hello.
Hello.
Welcome from Nashville.
So, Jason, I have kind of a story about you that you probably don't know. And I can guarantee that you definitely don't know because I'm about to tell you right now. I went to Nashville for RiffTrax Live in 2016 in Mothra, right? And I'm sitting.
He's got to bring that up every chance he gets.
Yeah, that's right. Well, because I bring it up every chance I get because Jeremy has never been, and I like to rub that in his face. So I'm sitting like 3 rows back. Yeah. From the and I'm sitting like on the very edge where the aisles there is in the Bell Court, and I talked to Connor and Sean quite extensively before the movie starts, right? So they're at the point like, okay, everybody sit down, shut up, we're gonna start, and I hear somebody like right behind me talking to somebody else. Saying like, oh, I'm from Nashville and I'm a writer for RiffTrax, blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking to myself, and I'm not turning around because I don't want to be like, I'm like, this dude's a total liar, whoever this guy is, because I was just talking to the writers and he's not one of them. I mean, how convenient. This guy's from Nashville. And I'm thinking this guy's from Nashville. Like, whatever. And then a couple of years later, I contact you as like, hey, you're a contributing writer. Would you like to be interviewed for the Riff Wiki? And you're like, okay, sure, right? And I send you the form, and you send it back to me. And I'm looking at it like, yes, I'm from Nashville. I do all these important things here in Nashville. I was like, oh my God. It's that guy that I didn't turn around and look at because I thought he was completely full of crap trying to impress somebody. And I felt like a dick because, like, even though I hadn't said anything, but I still felt like a jerk. I was like, oh my.
I feel like a jerk for making you feel like a jerk.
And I'm like, oh no. He's like, oh, but anyway, that's the hilarious story that
holy shit, sharing, man! Yeah. What that was Mothra?
Yeah, that was Mothra. Yeah.
Oh wow. No, yeah, I literally live within walking distance of the Bell Court.
And I remember you saying exactly that. Like, yeah, I just got here, and I'm like, this guy's so full of it. Like, whoever he's talking to, like, because I was just talking to the writers. He's not one of them.
Yeah, and it's sort of how I got into the RiffTrax, the writing pools because I back when Twitter was funny.
It's not anymore.
Man, it's not, is it? Back when it was fun, I met Sean and I met Connor on Twitter. And I saw that, I've been a Mystery Science Theater fan from way back when, the VHS tapes and all that stuff. And I saw that Sean and Connor worked for Mike, Kevin, and Bill. And I just like DM'd Sean at some point back in 2013, I think, and said, hey, if there's ever, a writing availability, just keep me in mind. And I had no idea at that point that they came here to do their live shows, even though I lived within walking distance of the Bell Court. So Sean writes me and he says, hey, there might be something coming up. By the way, we're doing a live show at the Bell Court. I think it was, I can't even remember now which one it was. But he said, come.
If it was 2013, it was either Starship Troopers or.
I think it was Starship Trooper because I sat in the very last row. They said, come to the show and then come out with us later, and meet the guys. And if there's something that comes up later, we'll do it. So we go to Midtown Nashville after the show. We're at a bar. The guys it's summertime. The guys are all hot. They're sweaty. They're thirsty. They're hungry. But we went to a bar that was also a pizza restaurant, and the kitchen had closed. Right. So the support people, they bring in some pizza. They had some pizza delivered to the bar. But the little guy behind the bar, he was like horribly upset by this. You can't bring outside food. So he runs out behind the bar and he gets into a fight with the RiffTrax people. And he's this little guy. He's got a big perm and he's wearing like a kind of a baseball style t-shirt. And he's wearing these really tiny shorts, right? And he's screaming at us, and he literally runs us out of the bar where we just spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars and ran us into they've got a little outdoor patio area, and he runs us out into that area where the guys keep eating pizza. And then Mike Nelson pulls out a packet of like a kind of cigar box of bugs, like dead bugs. And he starts like handing them around to people to eat these bugs, like daring them to eat the bugs. Well, then the little man with the perm and the small.
Wait a minute. I got to stop you because whatever happens next is going to be even crazier. But I just want to be a sentence I didn't think I'd hear when I woke up this morning. Mike Nelson's going around daring people to eat these bugs. That's a thing that Mike Nelson does.
There's like a dare thing inside RiffTrax culture where they make people, they dare people to eat things.
Oh my gosh.
Fortunately, guys, I'm a vegetarian, so I don't have to do that. But yeah, so Mike's passing out bugs. The guys are passing around pizza slices, and then the little man with the perm and the baseball shirt and the really tiny shorts, he comes screaming out into the patio area, and he makes anyone eating pizza go out into the road, like the street, right? Like the outlet to the street.
Oh, no.
Because they can't be on restaurant property eating outside food, even though we were outside food. But so they had to go out, and I don't think they make Mike go with the bugs because, they're bugs, but whatever. So, but that was my introduction to the RiffTrax people, and before I knew it, I had an audition.
That is insane. That is absolutely insane. That whole thing is just nuts.
Yeah, that was my introduction.
That's
to
great. I'm so glad. So glad you're on the show tonight, Jason. This is I think because a couple of weeks ago we had David Giancola on and he told us some crazy stories. So Jeremy, we need to have more awesome people on the show because what are we doing? We can't compete with this.
We definitely can't compete with this. The best story I have like that was Lewis Black yelling at me to finish his chicken barbecue pizza.
Wow. Did you do it?
I did, and I cried the whole time.
This doesn't sound like a story I want to hear.
I'll save that for another time. I'm not the special guest here, but
yeah. So the man with the little shorts became my. That was my introduction to my Kevin Bill, and I've been with the group ever since.
Oh my gosh! But if this was any other thing, I would say that I didn't believe you, but for some reason I do. I know I believe you about the bugs thing because I know Mike is like that. Because I've had Eric tell me before about that because I have a YouTube series, Bottom Shelf Munchies, where we eat weird stuff like that. We've eaten bugs and we have really gross fish stuff and all these things. And Eric's like, oh yeah, we have to eat stuff like that all the time. Mike makes us.
Yeah. Yeah. See? Yeah. Next time you talk to the dudes, ask them about the little man with the perm.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
And the little shorts. Yeah. No, they'll remember. They'll remember. It was a whole scene.
I'm probably gonna send Sean a message tonight about that.
It was a whole scene. I just hope he's out there, and I hope he found love. Because
he didn't.
No man with little shorts should be without love.
And a perm, no less.
And a perm. He had kind of a natural, what we used to call a natural.
Oh man, well that kind of takes care of one of our questions we had for you. We were going to ask how you got started with RiffTrax, but
And now we know.
Now we know. So what's the favorite VOD that you've written for?
Ooh, man. I don't know. I think we talked about this a little bit when we were emailing back and forth. I love Ator.
Which is actually one we're going to be talking about tonight. Oh, I wonder why.
Yeah, which is great, and because it's primarily because in Ator, you guys have seen it. It's like Cave Dwellers, Ator, this bizarre series of fantasy movies that they just kept remaking various versions of, but
and none of them make any sense.
But I was privileged to write my part of the divvy for whatever reason. I got to write the part where Ator expresses his love for his sister.
Oh, jeez.
No.
And then has to go talk to his dad about wanting to marry his sister. And it's just always held a fond part of my house, my heart.
And his dad's just like, oh, guess what?
She's not your sister. And there's that wonderful moment where he walks up to his wife and says, "You suckled on this same breast, but you are not brother." The Wizard. I was again blessed to write the Power Glove scene.
Oh, nice.
It's so bad.
And how do you approach that? And the only way to do it. So that was great. That was wonderful to get again, to be challenged to write that. You got
to point out that Tobey Maguire's in that scene. I mean, that's obviously a big responsibility there.
I know it's like crazy. So how do you do that? So that one, The Wizard, Deadly Prey, I was really happy about. The one that came out the other night, Aladdin.
Yeah, another one we're going to talk about in a little bit
is just a mysterious hoot. And I've also been there for some of, I guess, what you would say, inflicting pain on the public at large, Roller Gator.
What? No, that is not painful. Excuse me, sir. That is awesome. I love Roller Gator. Oh, my God.
Can you hear any of it?
I don't care. Yeah, it's amazing.
It's something, and it's mysterious and kind of wild. That one and God, what's the one with the mysterious clown?
Wizzo. Oh no, Star Games.
No, Star Games. I was out of town.
Aw.
I missed Star Games.
Wizzo.
It's Wizzo the Clown, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Christmas Circus,
yeah. Star Games, unfortunately, I was on vacation and I couldn't take the divvy that time. So I've hated it ever since. I missed that opportunity.
Well, let's make it a little more difficult for you. And
okay.
What are your we've asked this of the other guys we've had on from RiffTrax, Connor, Sean, and Eric. So we're gonna ask you as well. If you were trapped on a deserted island, what riffs would you take with you? The only 3 you could watch. Like a short and a VOD and like a live show or something.
Okay. All right. So I would probably take a Bridget and Mary Jo. I would take maybe I could take one that I worked on. I'd take Lady Mobster maybe.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. We had a lot of fun with that. Shorts. I really do like the Batman shorts.
Those are excellent.
Yeah.
Those are very good.
I think they're so fun, and I can't pick one because, well, number one, they're basically all the same, right?
Yeah, where someone comes in, Batman gets his ass kicked, and Robin does something, the wizard twists some knobs, and then it ends with a cliffhanger that they totally cheat out of in the next one.
There's an explosion at the end, but they are really fun. The really the one I like the most is the very first one in the series, which I didn't get to write on. But the introduction to the series is just so much fun. You know, it's got so much great stuff when the character's introduced. It's got Batman coming into the Batcave, and Kevin's like, "Get me out of this thing! I have to pee like a pregnant woman." You know, it's just a hoot. They did such a great job with those. I wish that they would do, and I understand why we don't because they're so tedious. But there's some Superman series out there. And
are you talking about the animated one?
No. There's like a Superman and the Mole Men or something.
Okay. I know what you're talking about.
I wish they would do some more of that stuff. Again, I know why they don't. They're super tedious to write, and they really are very repetitious. But they're a lot of fun too. Live shows. My favorite may be Samurai Cop.
Yes,
solid.
I got to write for the VOD, and they transferred a lot of that over to the live show here in Nashville. And that movie's fun,
especially with the nudity taken out.
Yeah. They
I didn't even know that there was nudity in that movie until Jeremy told me. Yeah,
they cut a little bit out of it.
Yeah, thankfully,
for the live shows because they're rated. And also because they're broadcast overseas in some case, so we have to comply with other standards for that kind of broadcast. Yeah. But it's just a good bad movie, you know.
Oh yeah, totally.
It's a hoot. It's mysterious. It's like, how did this get made? The other one I would say is Miami Connection.
Yeah.
Which is slightly before my time. I did not get to write for Miami Connection, but I love it very much. I just think it's hilarious, man. They did such a great job with it.
We actually just talked about that one a few episodes ago, and I don't know if you've heard about the alternate scene in that movie that they cut out.
No.
I think the guy's Jim, the one who he finds his dad.
Yeah.
And his dad is flying in, towards the end of the movie, and they're taking Jim to the hospital, and Jim doesn't make it in this version. Jim dies in the car.
Yeah.
And they pull the car over, and you see a plane flying overhead, and the other guy goes, "Oh man, Jim's father's on that plane."
Awesome.
But for some reason, they changed that. I don't know.
YK Kim saw a plot hole or something. That was like the only thing he saw. That was like the only thing is like, wait, this makes no sense.
Feels like a nice change. Feels like a decent change.
Yeah.
That one's good. I will say this. You guys remember Carnival of Souls?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
So here's the thing that happens when you write for RiffTrax, right? And I've done, I think, maybe 120 scripts at this point.
Damn.
Yeah, it's like a huge amount because, VODs and live and shorts and stuff. There's a fear that you develop. It's like when they announce a movie that I had become uncanny at saying like, oh my God, I am going to get this scene. And I watched Carnival of Souls as a kid, right? It was around. It was like on TV sometimes. And you know how it is. It's all like organ music-y and people wandering around. And they said, Jason, we're going to do Carnival of Souls as a live movie. And I swear to God, you guys, I'm not kidding. As soon as they said that they were going to send out a divvy, I was like, I am going to get the 10 minutes where that idiot is walking around the carnival with no dialogue, right? Just kind of in a trance. And God damn if that's not exactly what happened. They gave me the divvy, and exactly when she gets dropped off by the cab driver or whatever and ends up walking around the carnival, and there's no dialogue, There's nothing but organ music. I mean, really, the only thing that happens is, for some reason, she walks by kind of a wide-scale aluminum chute, and some mattresses slide down it. And that was my divvy. And I'm like, oh, my God, what am I going to do with this? You know? I mean, it's like, how do you write jokes over 10 minutes of just someone looking around aimlessly? And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened, man. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. And that happens to me all the time with these people.
What's the timetable on that? Like, how long do you get to work on that before?
Usually a couple of weeks.
It's not too bad.
No, it's not too bad. But if you think about it, it's like, so it's a say you have a 10-minute divvy, or when I worked on Rise of Skywalker, it's 15 minutes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's basically a joke every 10 to 15 seconds. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's so multiplied out by 10 or 15 minutes. Okay. So you can't squeeze them in too close, and you can't spread them too far out. If it's a live show, you have a little bit more leeway, because you need to make like room for audience reaction in live time. People are going to laugh. They might see something you miss, right? And react to that. So you need to build in a little extra space. But it's basically, a joke every 10 seconds. And you don't want to let it go much further than that. So the problem is, if you have a really long quiet time, 10 seconds can feel like an eternity, right? It's one thing. It's one thing if there's like bullets flying around or people are issuing dialogue, but if there's just someone just walking around, so I can't. Well, you guys know the title because it's coming up as a live show. This is the first one that I've ever had. It starts with a long musical number in a punk rock club.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then and I got through that. All right. I got through that. And I was like, oh, thank God. And there's a couple lines of dialogue, and there's a long striptease sequence. I'm like,
Yeah.
So give me something to work with here, you guys.
oh, Rick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not good.
Well, I only have 2 more questions for you, and they both come from a friend to the podcast and somebody that you are very familiar with, Jason. Our friend Margot, of course.
Margot.
The first one, she wants to know if you are working on any new books.
Yes. No,
Yes.
I am. Yes. Yes. No, I am. That's all I'll say about that.
Okay.
Yes.
And the other one, she told me that I have to ask you about the first time that you watched Top Gun.
What?
Oh my God. Yeah. I watched Top Gun a couple of years ago. I'd never seen it before all the way through. And it's very sweaty. No, seriously. I mean, have you guys watched it in a while?
No,
not in like 20 years.
Yeah, it's really, really, it's glycerin sweaty. The scenes with Tom Skerritt at the beginning.
Yeah.
In the aircraft carrier, everyone seems to have been sprayed down with a fine spritz of oil. They're really, really sweaty inside. And maybe naval vessels and aircraft carriers and such are like really humid environments. I don't know, but everyone's beaded with these like glycerin beads. And that's what I remember most about it.
That sounds like some of the movies from the director of A Talking Cat.
Yeah. Oh God.
Oh no, let's not talk about that.
Oh God. It was A Talking Cat, and what's the other one he did? He did Santa Summer House.
Santa Summer House.
And
like
Absolution the Jerk.
He also directed Retro Puppet Master.
Yeah.
Did he really?
Yeah, he did. I was amazed when I found
we were
that out
both
too.
pretty shocked when we learned that.
Man, I hated writing that movie so much.
But it has Greg Sestero in it. Just throw in room references. It'll be fine.
There are some that are just like, if I had to pick some that are just difficult to write, the ones that think they're funny, like the ice cream man.
I love that riff. That riff's amazing.
The ones that are like winking at you, I find so difficult to write.
Yeah.
And it's because to me, the beats are off, It's like you have to find a place to fit jokes in, but if they're winking at you, and that's why, I mean, as much as I like the Sharknado movies, I'm glad I've never had to do one because they're so self-aware.
Right.
I'd rather they be clumsy and not self-aware at all. It's just easier to me as a writer to do jokes about those, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
They're so self-aware,
totally.
like Most Dangerous Game, came out a couple weeks ago, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that to me, that's gravy because it's so like serious and grim, and surprisingly violent.
Yeah. Yeah, we were wondering about what happened to the dogs in that movie because this was before the film.
Oh, I know what happened to those dogs. They drowned.
Yeah.
Those dogs are dead.
I think that was my first pre-code movie, and we don't do very many pre-code movies.
No.
And we should do more pre-code movies, I think. But
Freaks and all them others.
I would love to write Freaks. That would be so much fun. Yeah, I got a terrific remit today from Bridget to ask me to write a movie about a 90s sex rom-com with all the sex taken out. So that'll be coming your way in the next couple months.
Okay.
Oh, that sounds like it'll be really good.
And I love writing for them. It's been such a treat to write for Mary Jo and Bridget.
Oh, we love listening
switch,
to them.
Yeah, to get to switch voices and write in their voice is so cool and such a treat, because Mike, Kevin, and Bill have just a different vibe, and it's great to get to transition over something a little bit different and stretch your legs a little bit. So really, really enjoyed writing for them.
Yeah, they always sound like they're having so much fun together.
Yeah,
they do, right? It's like two pals hanging out watching a movie. I wrote for Fear for them, which is the Dostoevsky ripoff.
Yeah.
I wrote for Lady Mobster, and we've got one coming out that I can't name yet in a couple weeks, and then I'll get to do the alien sex rom-com thing, which, so
alien.
Yeah, 90s alien meets woman sex rom-com with all the sex taken out. That's all I know about it.
Probably like something that they used to show on USA Up All Night or something.
Or like Cinemax After Dark.
Yeah.
Welcome back from the edit, everybody. It's
Dave's right. This is a thing. Yeah, I remember that too, pal. And I can't remember why it's been a billion years, but for some reason I'm attaching Jeff Goldblum to that. And maybe
because of the open shirt in Jurassic Park. Yeah.
Oh, whoa, hell yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right, so let's get talking about our first RiffTrax VOD. This is going to be the newest one released just this past Friday.
Oh God!
This is 1990 Disney Channel video Aladdin.
Wait, this was on the Disney Channel?
Mm-hmm. It's Buena Vista, so it is a Disney sidecar production. So this is funny too, and you guys might remember this. So this movie came out obviously a few years before the famous,
the
Robin Williams
Aladdin, yeah,
the animated Aladdin. But what Disney did, if you were around a Walmart at this time, you might, or your grandma might, have wandered by a little sidecar of VHS movies. and there was a cartoon packaging of this not animated movie. And so it was kind of like the Tiger version of famous video games.
Yeah.
You know, I think they kind of tried to pass it off like it was the animated Aladdin.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it had the cartoon packaging that might have fooled some people into picking it up. And imagine taking that home to your kids and say, "Hey, we got you Disney's Aladdin. Here you go. Let's pop it in the VHS player." And then
it's this pile.
You're confronted with Barry Bostwick.
Yeah.
They did that a lot. They did that a lot back then. They tried to tie these, like garbage live action things onto, or even some animated things, onto more popular. Yeah,
they would never do that today. They would never try to attach a live action film to an animated film.
Thank God. So yeah, it's really, really bad, and it's like looking at it now. I know like Disney has produced a lot of live action garbage, but
I'm not surprised this one's not up on Disney Plus. This version of Aladdin is based on a stage musical. And it's actually story-wise closer to the actual story of Aladdin, as far as the fact that it takes place in China, because the original story does not take place in anywhere in Arabia, aside from the little bit with the magician uncle.
Yeah, but that's supposed to be Jafar. Now the whole time I'm like, why is it in China? Now I know a lot of people are gonna point out that it's all these white people saying that we're in China. Okay, look, that is the least of this movie's problems. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, why are they all white? Well, because it's an American production, and all white people live in America. That's really the answer.
Yeah.
But can we talk for a minute how awful these songs are in this musical? Like what songwriter? I mean, I don't write songs. I mean, obviously, but I mean, this thing is a produced stage musical, got made into a quote-unquote movie, had somebody who's relatively well known to star in it, and it was on the Disney Channel apparently. What are their standards for songwriting? I mean, you look at the lyrics and they're infantile. They're just stupid.
Have you seen any of the direct-to-video animated sequels that Disney was doing for like a 15-year stretch there, like Bambi 2 and The Fox and the Hound 2, where they join a country jug band?
Who?
And I'm not even making that up.
Wait, who does?
The Fox and the Hound.
Join a country jug band?
Yes, in the direct-to-video sequel that they did.
Oh God!
They were garbage.
Oh.
Yes, I have 3 kids. I've sat through more of these than I'd like to admit, and they're just as bad as you'd expect them to be. And honestly, the songwriting for those is pretty much on par with the stuff from Aladdin. Except it's a little more produced, and they have some actual artists singing them.
Yeah,
as opposed to this guy who's never acted since or before.
It's very community theater, right? I mean, I think we can all agree on that. Like the sets are very pasteboard.
Yeah.
Yeah. It feels very, and Jeremy, I think you and I, we talked about this the other day. It feels like something they were almost contractually obligated to do.
Yeah.
Kick out. But on the other hand, they pump out all the garbage. My wife and I were talking about this the other day. So people playing Aladdin for Disney, Will Smith, Robin Williams, Don Castaneda, Barry Bostwick.
Who played 2 characters in this movie?
But they were both genies, though.
Yeah,
but they were all genies. Yeah. It's the I Dream of Jeannie, Jeannie and her evil sister.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Kit and Car from Knight Rider. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Oh, Knight Rider. I wish you were here now.
I know. What was the truck's name?
Don't know.
remember.
There was a giant truck, you guys. Come on, help me out here. Hercules, Titan, something like that.
Probably.
Anyway,
Large Marge.
Large March. The truck was not called Large March.
I
wish it
know.
was.
I honestly think that my favorite part of this movie is the fact that Aladdin has a last name, and it's
It's so and
so.
Or
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like that
Yeah,
kind of
again-
blew my mind a little bit, just because I was not prepared for that at all.
Very community theater.
Yeah.
Very like local. And so why? I mean, was there a public clamor for this version of Aladdin?
You got me, man. I mean, the whole thing seems very Pirates World in the 90s to me, even though there was no Pirates World in the 90s. But I mean,
I think that gets referenced in this too, in this riff. I believe somebody says, I think Santa is telling this story to some kids on the beach.
these kids on the beach.
The attention to the special effects with the the crazy
like I built a castle today. I've never built a castle before.
Yeah.
I'll use these elements that came with this special effects program to build.
Yeah, I got to write that crap. A roof. I forgot the roof. It's like, oh god, dude. Again, that just led me to believe that this whole thing was just a cast off that they had to do.
Yeah,
and they roped a bunch of people into it, and it's like,
like in the producers where they have to make a bad movie and they just don't care.
Well, remember the famous '80s Fantastic Four movie?
Yeah.
They had to do it contractually because they had to produce it and then.
Yeah, so they wouldn't lose the movie rights.
Yeah,
so,
and they just eat it and bury it.
Yeah,
I mean, watching the thing, I was like,
or the 2015 Fantastic Four.
Oh no, let's not talk about that, please.
Oh God, don't say that out loud.
I have a Fantastic Four. I'm looking at a Fantastic Four poster on my wall right now. I love the Fantastic Four, and I have not made it through 10 minutes of that movie. So
all good-hearted people love the Fantastic Four. We're just waiting for a good Fantastic Four movie. Please,
maybe eventually.
I don't think it's going to happen.
Who knows? Who knows with Disney in control?
Well, let's not. Well, yeah. Anyway,
yeah, Aladdin is. It's very. Yeah, most of the people don't have a ton of acting credits in this. There are a few that went on to do some other things and some other way more well-known things. Other, of course, than Barry, because he was the mayor in Spin City, I think, for 4 years or however long that movie lasted.
That TV show.
Yeah, TV show.
Jeremy, get it right. What's wrong with you?
And Megaforce. Don't forget Megaforce.
I'm thinking about Aladdin. That's what's wrong with me. But our princess Mei Ling, Susan Egan, she does a lot of voice work. She was Meg in Hercules, also a Disney production, way better than this one. She did a voice in the English dub of Spirited Away. So, she's done a lot of things, have been very successful with her voice work. So at least, that's something good that came out of this. Welcome back from the edit, everybody. But that
was a long edit, bunch of stuff you guys will never hear.
But,
so many secrets.
I'm so glad that I heard it. Oh yeah, Aladdin, guys, seriously, check it out. $10.
Oh, that's right. We were talking about Aladdin like an hour ago.
So now let's go on to our second VOD here, and this is one that Jason, you actually suggested that we talked about. And we did kind of bring it up for a few minutes earlier on in this episode. That is, of course, Ator, the Fighting Eagle.
Ator.
Miles O'Keefe.
You gotta love Ator. It's so good. It's so good.
This movie,
Uh,
I actually saw this on broadcast TV years before MST3K was a thing, and Cave Dwellers, the
really?
sequel that they did. Yeah, it was on some local channel in this little lake town here in Michigan that our family used to have a cabin at. And one Saturday it was raining out, so there really wasn't anything to do. I turned on the TV and I see this Conan the Barbarian wannabe guy fighting a giant spider with a mirror shield. And I was like, what is this? This is awesome. And that was all I ever saw of it, was from there to the end, so not very much. And then I saw Cave Dwellers, and I'm like, hey, wait a second. I think I remember seeing a movie when I was a kid with this guy in it, and he fought like a spider. And I kept waiting for that to happen, and it never happened. And I'm like, what the crap? What's going on? And then, I found out that it was a sequel years later. And there's actually like 4 movies in this series. But like you said, it's like a reboot and then another reboot. And the last one doesn't even have Miles O'Keefe in it, right? Or is he still in it? I don't know.
Yeah, they kept making the same movie over and over again. I mean, I don't even know that they were sequels per se, but just like kind of recapitulations of one another.
Yeah.
So, like, Cave Dwellers is pretty close to Ator.
Except he doesn't want to get with his sister in this one.
Yeah. They're really close together. So, I don't know. Yeah. But it's Ator is fun. Ator is what it is. Ator wants to marry his sister, who is not a sister.
It's so stupid. It's like, I know we talked about it, but like, she's not really your sister. Oh, good.
Yeah, right? She suckled from the same breast. But
it's like, you're only making it, it's like, you're really confusing me further.
Yeah.
Now,
Ator.
Okay. See, this is the kind of stuff that I really like about doing this and looking up stuff while we're recording, because I always learn things that I didn't know before. And Ator came out the same year as Cave Dwellers.
Really?
Well, yeah, because they're both filmed in like 5 minutes. So of course.
The director of those movies also made or produced Troll 2, which I didn't know.
God.
He also produced Ghost House.
Dear God.
And Witchery, Dave, a.k.a. La Casa 4.
Yes, Witchery.
The unofficial sequel to Ghost House, which was the unofficial sequel to Evil Dead 2.
Wait, what?
Yeah, over in Italy.
There's a movie called Witchery. There's a movie called Witchery starring David Hasselhoff. And it was technically it's the sequel to Ghost House, but it has witches in it. And it's something else. It's quite gory. It's not quite as like, because you know how Ghost House has kind of like that comedic quality to it. Witchery is like super dark. It's like David Hasselhoff's darkest, kind of like weirdest thing he ever did.
What the fuck?
No, this is a real thing. It's look it up. It's gross, and it's. I mean, like I used to think that like, that'd be cool for RiffTrax to do, and then I saw it and I was like, oh no, this is
no,
very disturbing.
No.
Dear God.
But they released them as part of the La Casa series. The first Evil Dead was the first La Casa. Evil Dead 2 was released as La Casa 2. Ghost House was La Casa 3, and Witchery was La Casa 4.
Holy.
So they forced them into this series of movies over in Italy that have nothing to do with each other outside of the first two. And yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, no, but if you want to be disturbed, watch that movie.
With David Hasselhoff.
Yeah.
It has David Hasselhoff, Catherine Hickland, Linda Blair.
Oh, well, that makes it better. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. You guys,
It's
this is nightmare fuel. Why am I doing this?
dude, it's bad. It's really bad. Yeah, guys. Okay, and okay, guys. If this makes it into the podcast, don't watch Witchery. Don't do it. It's bad.
With David Hasselhoff and Linda Blair.
Yeah, just
Okay.
ignore that. Just ignore that movie, listeners. Don't seek it out.
No,
Um,
listeners, never watch anything with David Hasselhoff.
see, it's melted Jason's brain just thinking about it.
Jesus,
And he hasn't even seen it yet.
no, but I want to.
But yeah, I think we were talking about Ator before.
Yes,
This is how the podcast works, Jason. We go wildly off the rails all the time.
It's usually my fault. Not this
Yeah,
time.
not this time. So as for the story, Ator is the child of prophecy, blah blah blah, gonna destroy the spider cult. They try and kill him as a baby, and they sneak him off to a village, and this is where he has his new sister, who he's in love with, and he wants to marry her. And the village is attacked by the spider cult soldiers, and the women are taken, including his sister, who he really wants to marry. And so he goes off trying to rescue her and defeat the spider cult and blah, blah, blah.
yes, yeah, that's it.
Yep. That's it. That's all you need to know about Ator.
What else is there really to say about it? I mean,
Yeah.
Okay,
That's-
wasn't there something in like the prologue to the movie where it's talking about how he was born, like somebody cast their seed into the wind? Like it was this really
yeah.
gross like description.
No, yeah, that's kind of no. It's he's Conan. He's Conan, right? One of the things I like about these this genre of movies is that it's like you can just have Krognar and then do the Barbarian and have him cast into whatever. And that's what they did with this, right? It's obviously a Conan ripoff, but it's just there's just not that much to it, right?
Yeah.
No, it's like you said, it's a Conan. I mean, even as far as like Conan, it was like a snake cult, right? James Earl Jones turns himself into a giant snake or something.
Yeah. This was a spider.
Yeah. So it's Conan, but spiders instead of snakes.
Yeah.
And he wants to bang his sister. I mean, I think Conan wanted revenge. That was all he was after.
Well, who would not?
Yeah.
At least it was James Earl Jones.
This is true. He at least had better than Dakar.
Yeah.
Oh God. All right. So anyway, so that was Ator the Fighting Eagle.
Yeah.
Oh man! And also, don't look up the rest of the movies that Joe D'Amato made because they're all like porn.
Why doesn't that surprise me?
Yeah, so just stay away from that end of it, guys. Don't watch Witchery. Don't worry about any of the other movies made by Joe D'Amato. It's just like David Decato. Don't look at
just don't do it.
Unless it's like a talking pony or what was my stepbrother's?
No, don't even watch a talking pony. I paid $1 for that movie, and I wish I hadn't.
Oh
no! That's another movie. Like, don't watch Witchery and don't watch a talking pony. It is not.
Damn
worth
you
it.
guys! I'm going to watch Witchery now because of you. I'm going to watch Witchery.
I told you not to watch the thing.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
That just made him want to watch it more,
I
Dave.
know. You know me. I'm gonna have to watch it. I mean, you guys made it
well, I
sound
mean,
so
okay. Well, I mean, when
tempting.
okay, when you're having nightmares about fetuses and shit, okay.
Oh,
I mean, it's on Prime Video to watch for free.
Really?
So,
Is it?
yeah.
Oh, wow.
I don't know why I'm encouraging this, but
I don't know why you are
You
either.
are encouraging.
Anyway,
Yep.
Deadly Prey.
Yes, Deadly Prey.
Let's talk about Deadly Prey for a moment.
Favorite RiffTrax. So good. It's First Blood, but
it's way stupider.
yes. Yeah.
So, like, I mean, okay, so Deadly Prey, what I can remember of it, even though I watched it recently. So the guys, he's taking out the garbage,
Mm-hmm.
and the bad guys, like, oh, they come and kidnap him.
Mm-hmm.
But, oh no, we've kidnapped, like, this crazy special forces guy.
Yeah.
Right? So, bad guy.
A special forces guy that the bad guy has a personal relationship with.
yeah.
Yeah. What a coincidence.
What a coincidence. Yeah.
And this is yet another in the long line of movies in the same vein of The Most Dangerous Game.
Yeah.
Which we talked about.
Yeah, so they're like going to hunt Matt.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. It is a Most Dangerous Game ripoff, which, again, they're doing First Blood, they're doing Most Dangerous Game,
Yeah.
But that's cool, except this guy. Ugh, put a shirt on, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the main thing, right? It's like he goes out to take out the garbage. His wife is making him breakfast, if I remember correctly. And he goes out to take out the garbage, and he's basically in like a little pair of denim shorts.
Yeah. Jorts. He's got nice cutoff jorts on.
Yeah, and he gets hauled into a van, I think.
Yeah, a van, and they run off and they take him to, like, this paramilitary compound in, like, a park.
Right.
Or something, yeah.
Yeah. And from there, he never... I mean, by the time I got to my divvy, it's like when he's broken free. It was like, please, God, just put on a shirt.
And then then he goes on and he starts,
render a guard unconscious and take his uniform.
But, like, one of the things that, like, really gets me about, I mean, Cameron Mitchell's in it. Mitchell's in a lot of stuff because he had lots of people take advantage of him. He gets top billing in this but my thing is that the main character, I don't remember his name. It doesn't matter. Deadly Prey, we'll call him. Deadly Prey's wife gets kidnapped by the bad guys, taken to their little paramilitary compound, and she gets raped and killed. Yeah. And it's like, oh, that's awesome. Like, why did... And it's just like I think it's like the most uncomfortable line in RiffTrax. Not a riff, but like a line that is spoken in the movie, where she's like, "They raped me," and everyone's just like, "Oh no."
Yeah.
So I have a little bit of information about our main character here, Mike Danton. The actor is Ted Pryor.
Mm-hmm.
His brother is David Pryor, the guy who directed and wrote the movie.
Yeah.
Ted was a Chippendales dancer.
Oh, yeah, we're getting answers.
He was a centerfold in Playgirl.
What?
And he also reprised the role in the sequel.
Yes,
Deadliest Prey from 2013.
This is correct.
What?
Yeah.
Wait a
There was a
minute.
sequel. Nearly 3 decades after his abduction by the psychotic Colonel Hogan, the hardened Vietnam veteran and elite soldier Mike Danton has to face once more his arch nemesis' thirst for revenge. Is Danton still the best?
The answer is no.
Yeah.
See, it wasn't the best to begin with, so yeah.
Yeah, that bothers me about the movie too. It's like the grim ending. It's like, her dad dies and she dies, and it's like, it's hard to.
Yeah. Right. So
right.
like you don't really know. It doesn't really have an ending though. It's the thing.
Yeah, it's like, let's write jokes about that.
The calling card of the bad movie is that they just kind of stop. They don't have an ending. They just kind of stop. Like like Light Blast.
Yes.
Oh, God.
That movie just kind of stops.
Yeah. And
It's like Haunted Ween also just
Haunted
kind of
Ween.
stops.
It just kind of freeze frames and
Kind of
that's it.
freeze frame.
Kind of slams into a wall.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're left with that. You're like, okay, I get to go.
All
to,
right, so
I get to go to sleep with this now. And Dan's wife and father-in-law have been murdered. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Thanks for leaving with this, you assholes. Yeah.
Thank you, Pryor Brothers.
yeah,
Again,
so
it's another outstanding riff. Minus some of the material, which is a little uncomfortable. But
I would say that's the most uncomfortable moment I've ever been watching a RiffTrax. Just like that, like no.
yeah, that's why I'm glad that there's that one scene in Samurai Cop where they go to the one cop's house and they start like torturing his wife. They like no, not the blonde police. This is one of the guys, and they go and they like start doing things to his wife right in front of him before they murder her and then kill him. But it's I'm glad that was removed out of that movie.
Radical Jack. Yeah. There's that scene where the cop goes to the dude's house and like has sex with his wife and then kills her. And it's like, I don't know. You
didn't have to do that.
Didn't have to do that. Yeah, it's uncomfortable. Yeah.
Well, we know that was not David Giancolo's fault.
Yes, yeah. He went into detail about how just like but we won't get into
the guy
that.
was like a Royal Canadian Mounted Police officer.
Wow.
He wasn't. It didn't become like a knockoff Roadhouse thing until
somebody else started directing it. Yeah.
Like it was originally supposed to be like no, but
wow.
Oh man.
Wow.
That's all I got for Deadly Prey.
I want to thank you again for joining us, Jason. It was a riot.
This was a ton of fun, man. Thanks for coming on.
The story about the dude with the curly hair and the short shorts. I love that. I love that story. That's one of my favorite stories now.
It's my introduction to these guys. So
I'll definitely be asking, as we like to call them, Con and Shauner.
Con and Shauner.
Con and Shauner. That's totally not me mispronouncing their names and putting together, like, what's that called when you put two words together and it just like becomes like a
portmanteau.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes. But yeah, it was great. Even the stuff that was edited out was a blast. And
aren't
you jealous, listeners?
Yes, you should be, because most of that won't even end up with the Patreon people.
No, it won't.
Speaking of which, real quick, I want to get this out there. I did post this to our Patreon a few days ago, but we do have an announcement. We are going to be starting some mini episodes of the podcast where we're going to be using that for our short reviews of RiffTrax shorts. and those will be going up for our patrons for like 48 hours before they get released to the public. So if you like the podcast, want to give us a little bit of support, you can head to patreon.com/trueblueriffcast, and you can drop us a couple dollars and get early access to some podcasts. You can get all kinds of little goodies like ringtones and notification sounds, mostly from Dave, and you'll get some bloopers and all that fun stuff. And a heads up on who's going to be joining us on future episodes of the podcast. And I am Jeremy. You can find me at pbandawesome.com. You can follow me on Twitter at pbandawesome. You can send me emails, jeremy@trueblueriffcast.com. And you can follow the podcast on Twitter at tbriffcast.
And I'm Dave. You can check me out on the web at sugarraydodge.com. You can send me emails at dave@trueblueriffcast.com.
And you can find Jason on Twitter at longwall26.
That's me.
Is that right?
Yes.
And that's going to do it. We'll see you guys next time right here on the True Blue Riffcast.
See ya.
See ya.
Rock,